Hello everyone and welcome to my 9th Pokemon Challenge run. Today we tackle a brand new Pokemon generation for the first time, Treecko and Pokemon Emerald. I'm super excited to begin this run since Gen 3 is one of my favorite generations and I'm very excited in seeing how Treecko can handle Hoenn in its entirety. Anyways, I'm really trying hard to create quality content for you guys on a weekly basis, so if you have any ideas or like seeing my content, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can keep up with all my future videos. Alright, that shameless plug over, time for the rules. Rule number 1, no glitches, hacks, or cheats. I do, however, use speed up, otherwise these videos would take far longer to produce and I'd rather produce them quickly. Rule number 2, I can only use one Pokemon in battle, however, because I am not cheating, I do need to use HM Pokemon for travel purposes only. And lastly, rule number 3, no items in battle. This doesn't include held items as I use Everstones during some runs and so other held items are allowed if necessary. With all of that out of the way, let's begin. As usual, we begin by spending a bit of time resetting for the correct nature. In this case, we're using an Adamant Nature Treecko despite it having a higher special attack stat naturally. The reason for this is because Treecko's move pool sucks, and the best way that we can achieve the variety of attacks that we need is by buffing Treecko's attack stat as high as we can. We head over to battle May in our first rival fight. Normally I do grinding first, but I didn't want to find a shiny without having access to Pokeballs. Torchic is pretty easy to handle, we trade tackles and scratches until we win. From here, we finally get into grinding. Fortunately for us, Poochyena is pretty common on this first route and it offers us 1 attack EV per knockout, so we're going to go ahead and knock out 252 of these things before we move on. With the Poochyena beaten, we then move on to Rustboro and challenge Roxanne. She leads with her first Geodude who we knock out with 1 Absorb. She then sends out her second Geodude who meets the same fate. Her last Pokemon is Nosepass, who resists our Absorb and hits us with Rock Tomb to lower our speed. We just continue to spam Absorb while it spams Rock Tomb, and eventually we come out on top. We have our second rival fight on our way back towards Mr. Briney's house. This fight is optional, but I don't like skipping fights, so we decided to do this one. Lotad faints after 2 Absorb, and then May sends out her Torchic. We pound Torchic into chicken tendies and claim victory once more. After a neat boat ride, we challenge Brawly, who was a bit of a threat for a while. He leads with Machop, who hits us with a crit Karate Chop after we land and Absorb. On the next turn, we take it out with another Absorb. Brawly then sends out Meditite, who doesn't pose any threat at all and really just wastes the 2 turns it had to attack us. Brawly's last Pokemon is Makuhita, and this is the real threat. Reversal and Vital Throw are powerful attacks, and we almost lost here, being left at 2 HP before getting a lucky Mega Drain crit for the win. On our way to take on our third gym battle, and after a short run-in with Team Aqua, we're stopped by May for our third rival battle. She leads with Wingull, who we're able to one-shot with Mega Drain. Combusken is up next, who we pound twice before it embers. 1 more pound turns Combusken into KFC. May's last Pokemon is Lombre, who really poses no threat at all since we spam Mega Drain to stay healthy. We get to Mauville, where we have a very short battle with Wally for the first time. We one-shot his Ralts and send him on his way. Watson is our next opponent, and he was a bit tricky to deal with as well. He leads with Voltorb, who we miss our first slam against, but we one-shot with the second. Electrike is up next, who we almost one-shot with Mega Drain, but it howls and basically wastes its turn. We then quick attack twice after Watson heals to take it down. Magneton is up next, who is the real threat. We Mega Drain, but then it uses Thunder Wave to paralyze us. We just spam Mega Drain and hope for no paralyze, doing our best to stay healthy and whittle down the Magneton until it finally faints. Watson's last Pokemon is Manectric, who we quick attack while it howls. On the following turn, it quick attacks us, but we answer with a slam to knock it out. From here, we then head up Mount Chimney and battle Magma Admin Tabitha. Tabitha leads with Numel, who we one-shot with a crit Mega Drain. Tabitha then sends out his second Numel, who actually tanks our Mega Drain, and lands an Ember before we take it out on the following turn. Up next is Zubat, who we try to slam but miss while it hits us with Wing Attack. On the following turn, we take it down. Tabitha's last Pokemon is Poochyena, who falls to a single Mega Drain. After Tabitha is beaten, we challenge Maxie to a battle after his weird supervillain speech. Maxie's team is a lot like Tabitha's. He leads with Mightyena, who lowers our attack with Intimidate. We hit with Mega Drain while it hits us with Sand Attack, and on the following turn, we take it down. Camerupt is up next, and this time we opt to use Dig, heading underground. Camerupt uses Magnitude, so we still get hit, but we do a ton of damage before it hits us with Ember. Maxie heals, and then we dig again, this time getting a crit and taking down the Camerupt. Maxie's last Pokemon is Zubat, who we take out with our second slam after missing our first. Flannery is our next gym leader to challenge, so we head to Lava Ridge and do just that. Flannery leads with her Numel, who we slam for the one-shot. Camerupt is up next, and we dig to avoid an overheat, then one-shotting it on the next turn. Slugma follows Camerupt, who we dig while it tries to use Smog. Dig then hits for the one-shot, prompting Flannery to bring out her Torkoal. We dig once more and dodge another overheat, dig then landing for half health. Overheat then finally lands on us and drops us all the way down to 4 HP. We dig one final time and then take down the Torkoal for the win. It is now time for Norman, so we head over to Petalburg and challenge him. Norman leads with Spinda, who really doesn't do much. We take it out with a crit Giga Drain pretty quickly. Vigoroth is up next, who we take down with 2 Giga Drains. Linoon follows the Vigoroth, who we slam for more than half health, meaning it can't use Belly Drum. We then take it out on the following turn. Slacking is Norman's last Pokemon, and it is here that I had an idea. Slacking loafs around every other turn, so if we're underground during the turn that it can attack, we should be safe. We do just that and dig on every turn that it is about to attack us, meaning that we're in the clear and we win with ease. With Norman defeated, we head over to the Weather Institute where Shelly has caused a problem. We challenge her and she leads with her Carvana, who we one-shot with Giga Drain. She then sends out her Mightyena, who we Giga Drain, but it confuses us and we miss a few slams. Eventually, we break out of confusion and land a Giga Drain, knocking it out and winning the fight. The Weather Institute no longer under threat, we head towards Fortree and get stopped for our next rival battle. May leads with Pelipper, which was not a good idea since we two-shot it with a Giga Drain and a Slam. May then sends out her Combusken, who we hit with Slam while it uses Bulk Up. We then dig on the following turn and dodge a Peck before taking it out with Dig. May's last Pokemon is Lombre, who stalls with Fake Out, but it can't stall the inevitable, and we take it out after missing a few slams. We actually couldn't beat Winona, so we skipped her and went to Lilycove for our last battle against May. She leads with the Tropius this time, but we came prepared with Rock Tomb and do significant damage to it. On the next turn, we take it down. Pelipper is up next, who we almost one-shot with Giga Drain after 2 Protect turns. We take it out shortly after, meaning that Combusken is sent out. We dig, and again, almost one-shot the Combusken while it uses Bulk Up, so we dig again, this time taking it down. May's last Pokemon is Ludicolo, who we Giga Drain for a bit under half health. We then hit it with Slam and take it down, beating May for the last time. We still could not beat Winona, so we do the Mount Pyre stuff and then go track down Team Magma. We have another battle with Tabitha here, who leads with Numel. We dig and one-shot the poor thing before Tabitha sends out Zubat. We Giga Drain 3 times to heal up a bit and it faints. Tabitha then brings out Mightyena, who we Giga Drain for the one-shot. The last Pokemon is Camerupt, who we decide to use Dig against, and sadly we don't get the one-shot. We tank a takedown, and then dig again, taking out the Camerupt on the following turn. Tabitha couldn't stop us, so we have our second battle against Maxie after he wakes up Groudon. Maxie leads with Mightyena, which there are unfortunately plenty of in this game. We miss Slam and it uses Scary Face on us to lower our speed, then we miss Slam twice while it uses Swagger on us twice, boosting our attack higher than it has ever been. Crobat is up next, who is an easy one-shot thanks to the Swagger buffs. Camerupt is the last Pokemon, who we use Dig against and take it down easily. Finally, we head back to Winona and give her another try. She leads with Swablu, who we're able to take down with just a Slam. Pelipper is up next, who stalls us for a bit, but we're able to eventually land 2 Giga Drains to take it out. Tropius is up next, so we use Rock Tomb for the one-shot. Skarmory is Winona's next Pokemon, and this creature is what walled us for so long. We get a crit Rock Tomb for huge damage, and then take it down on the following turn. Altaria is Winona's last Pokemon, who we Rock Tomb and failed to knock out. It uses Dragon Dance, but thankfully we're still faster thanks to Rock Tomb lowering its speed. Winona heals, and then we land Rock Tomb again before using Giga Drain, taking Winona down after a long time of trying. We then head over to Slateport and witness Archie stealing a submarine. Nothing else really happened, I just felt like including this because Archie is hilarious. We fly over to Lilycove and have a battle with Matt in Team Aqua's hideout. He leads with a Mightyena, who we slam for about half while it uses Scary Face. Matt then heals, but we slam twice to knock it out. Matt then sends out his last Pokemon, Golbat, who we tank 2 wing attacks from before taking it out with Rock Tomb. This next fight is a bit difficult to explain, but it is the only double battle gym leader in the entire franchise. Tate and Liza won't fight you if you have only one Pokemon, so I decided to just spam the most useless moves my HM masters knew to have the least impact on the fight. I hope that this is acceptable, but it's a similar situation to the end battle in Pokemon White. Not much choice. Anyways, we quickly knock out Xatu with a crit Rock Tomb, which brings out Solrock. Claydol earthquakes and Tropius uses Flash against Claydol. On the following turn, we Giga Drain Soul Rock for the one-shot, while Claydol again uses Earthquake and Tropius again uses Flash. Lunatone is sent out, and we don't actually one-shot with Giga Drain, so Lunatone is able to get a Calm Mind set up, while Tropius and Claydol do their thing. We then decide to Giga Drain the Claydol, but Lunatone uses Psychic against Tropius, knocking it out. We then send out our Wailmer as the new fodder, but it doesn't know any non-attack moves, so I settle for Whirlpool. We Giga Drain the Lunatone for the one-shot, and thankfully Wailmer misses the Whirlpool, allowing Treecko to one-shot crit the Claydol, meaning that we only use Treecko for the entire fight, barring Tropius using Flash, of course. During our victory celebration, Team Magma shows up again. This time we have a forced double battle with Steven against Tabitha and Maxie. We decide to take out Maxie's Pokemon first, so we return the Mightyena for about half while Camerupt uses Amnesia. We return again on the following turn and take out the Mightyena. Maxie sends out his Camerupt, which Matang hits with Metal Claw, while the other Camerupt uses Amnesia again. We use Dig while everyone does basically the same thing as before. We get a crit Dig and one-shot Maxie's Camerupt, meaning that Maxie's last Pokemon is Crobat, whom Matang actually hits with Psychic on entry. We follow that up with a return and take it down. Matang then Psychics the other Camerupt, and we use Dig, taking out Tabitha's Camerupt on the following turn. Tabitha then sends out his Golbat, who Matang Metal Claws before we take it down with a return, and Tabitha's last Pokemon is Mightyena, who we take down pretty easily with 2 returns and a Metal Claw from Matang. One crisis averted, another pending. We chase Archie to the bottom of the ocean, but Shelly stops us before we get to him. She leads with Sharpedo, who we one-shot with Giga Drain. Mightyena is up next, who we take down easily with 2 returns. Somehow, I guess we passed Archie since he follows us into Kyogre's room. Archie leads with a Mightyena, who sadly lowers our attack like they all do. A few returns is more than enough to take care of that, though. Archie then sends out Crobat, who we're able to take out with 3 returns. Archie's last Pokemon is Sharpedo, who is thankfully a one-shot with Giga Drain. Unfortunately, Kyogre is awakened, which results in a big kaiju fight in the middle of Sootopolis City. This sucks for a number of reasons, but mostly because I now have to talk to Wallace. Wallace teleports to the Sky Pillar, and then we climb up to the top. Upon reaching the top, Rayquaza just wakes up after sensing the weather change and flies off to fix the problem itself. So, I guess we didn't really need to do anything about this situation after all. With our total crisis averted counter now up to 3, we take on Hoenn, the last gym leader. He leads with Love Disc, who is a one-shot with Giga Drain. The Pokemon after that is Celio, who is another one-shot thanks to Giga Drain. Hoenn then sends out Kingdra, who actually isn't one-shot by Giga Drain, taking only a bit under half health while it sets up a double team. We go for a return and almost take it down, but then it Resto Chestos. We land another return despite the evasive hacks it's trying to set up. It sleeps again, and then we hit another return for half, then luckily getting another return to take it out before it wakes up again. Wishcash is up next, who is a very easy one-shot with Giga Drain, and Juan's last Pokemon is Crawdaunt, who is yet another easy one-shot with Giga Drain. We begin trekking through Victory Road, but Wally stops us for another fight. This time he's much better prepared, leading with an Altaria. We return for a bit more than half health while it uses Dragon Dance, but we're still faster and take it out on the next turn. Wally's next Pokemon is Roselia, who we're able to take out with a single return. Wally then sends out Delcatty, where I made a huge mistake. We didn't one-shot with return, meaning that Cute Charm procced and we're stuck in a Tract. Wally then heals and we spend 8 total turns immobilized by Love against this absolute demon. We're finally able to break through and take it out though. What a nightmare. Anyways, Magneton is up after Delcatty, and here's where I remembered that Magneton does not have Levitate, so we're able to use Dig against it, taking it down easily. Gardevoir is Wally's last Pokemon, who we Giga Drain and then crit return to knock it out, beating Wally for the final time. We did a bit of training for the Elite Four, and then begin by challenging Sydney. Sydney leads with his Mightyena, who unfortunately lowers our attack, just like every other Mightyena in this game. However, I had replaced Rock Tomb with Brick Break, meaning that we're still able to one-shot the Mightyena. We then one-shot the Absol on the next turn, and then we one-shot the Shiftry after that. Cacturn is sent out, who is yet another one-shot with Brick Break, and last up is Sydney's Crawdaunt, who actually tanked our Brick Break and used Swords Dance before Sydney healed it up. We then use a return, followed by another for the knockout. Brick Break is overpowered, nothing much else to say. Okay, this next fight sucks. Phoebe is unfair. We only have 2 moves that can hit her Pokemon, Giga Drain and Dig. Return and Brick Break won't land because they are normal and fighting type moves, while her Pokemon are ghost types. The problem is that Giga Drain and Dig don't have a lot of power. Both of Phoebe's Dusclops have pressure, which doubles our power usage, and the first Dusclops would also waste power by stalling with Protect. Fortunately, I had a PP Max and 3 PP Ups in my inventory, so we buffed our available power for this fight. However, Curse was still a run ender for a while, as was Bayonet using Grudge to ruin the power reserves I had for the rest of the fight. Anyways, the solution here was to use Dig and then Giga Drain for both Dusclops, hoping we got lucky and avoided the Protects and the Curses. The first Bayonet we were able to take out with a crit Giga Drain, meaning we have plenty of power left for this fight. Phoebe then sends out her Sableye, and we decide to use Dig. On the following turn, we do significant damage with Dig, and 2 turns after that, another Dig takes down Sableye. The second Bayonet is Phoebe's last Pokemon, but this opponent doesn't know any scary moves, so we're able to take it down rather easily with 2 uses of Dig. Glacia is the third of the Elite Four, and honestly I thought she would be a huge problem for me, like Lorelei has been in the past. She leads with her first Celio, who we knock out with Brick Break. She then sends out her second Celio, who we take out with another Brick Break. The next Pokemon is Walrein, who tanked our Brick Break and hit us with an Ice Beam, lowering our HP down to 13. We decide to use Giga Drain and gain some health back while also taking down the Walrein. Glalie is then sent out, who falls to our Brick Break, and then Glacia's last Pokemon, a second Glalie, is sent out, who also falls to our Brick Break. Brick Break solos 2 of the Elite Four. It is really overpowered. Break is the last of the Elite Four, and we get stuck here for a bit. My solution is to return Shelgon without having it hit Rock Tomb to slow us down. If it slows us down, trouble will happen later. We return the Shelgon twice and knock it out, meaning Flygon is up next. We land a return, but it doesn't do enough, and we tank a Flamethrower before taking it down. We return the Altaria, and since we didn't get slowed, we still outspeed in the following turn and take it down. Salamence is up next, and this is where things get scary. We return while Salamence misses its first attack, then return again and get hit with the Flamethrower. We return once more and almost knock it out, but then it takes us all the way down to 4 HP before Drake full restores. I thought that this attempt was over, but then Treecko one-shot Salamence with a crit powered by Concentrated Hopes and Dreams. Drake's last Pokemon is Kingdra, who we thankfully outspeed with Giga Drain while it uses Body Slam, taking us back down to 9 HP. We then return and finally beat Drake, the perfect battle. Wallace is the last trainer of the run, the champion, who I was a bit unsure about. He leads with Wailord, who we one-shot with Giga Drain. He then sends out Milotic, who we return while it misses Toxic. We then go for another return and take it out. Wallace then sends out his Tentacruel, who we return for most of its health. Wallace then full restores, and we return twice to take it down. Ludicolo is up next, who we return while it uses Double Team. On the following turn, Wallace full restores and we land another return. Wallace then full restores again and we land yet another return, then landing another on the following turn to take it down. The next Pokemon is Wishcash, who we're able to take out with a Giga Drain, and Wallace's last Pokemon is Gyarados, who we hit with return while it uses Dragon Dance. We're still faster, so we land another return while Gyarados uses Earthquake, doing little damage. Wallace uses another freaking full restore, and we land another 3 returns while Gyarados misses Hyper Beam, finally claiming the title of champion for ourselves. This run was pretty fun, all things considered. I forgot how uninteresting the admin and boss battles were with Team Magma and Team Aqua, but I was also pretty surprised that Treecko's move pool is the exact opposite of what its stats would imply. The best moves for Treecko are all physical moves, but its best attacking stat is special. Anyways, this run was a fun one at the very least. I really enjoyed returning to Gen 3, and I noticed a lot of new stuff in the game while playing through it again. Speaking of playing through it, the final time for this run was 41 hours and 18 minutes, which is surprisingly longer than most of my runs. I've been wanting to go through and get a table set up for rankings here at the end of every video, so maybe I can get around to doing that in the future. Anyways, I stream this run over on Twitch, which I plan on doing weekly. Also, if you like this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, as it would help me out a lot. If you'd like, feel free to leave a comment to let me know how you feel about the video, since I love seeing what you guys think about my content. If you're interested in coming and hanging out, feel free to follow the link below to either my Twitch, my Twitter, or my Discord. This has been Tro, and thank you for watching.